Okay, hi y'all. Welcome to Simply Life with me. I happen to be the person known as Simply Lesa. I am adjusting the phone as I do this. And I told y'all I had some things. Whoops, don't unscrew that one. I told y'all I had some things kind of going on this morning. I'm adjusting the tripod. I'm sorry I'm a couple of minutes. Oops, that won't work. Behind. I was trying to tilt it so you can see me better. I don't see how to do that easily. And I'm in the middle of something I got to keep the cats off of. So, uh, this is what I'm working on right now. And so let me tell you about this. I can't. I have to adjust that part with the tripod. Okay. I feel like the picture's, whoa, crooked. Okay, one of the parts of the tripod just tried to go down on me. Locking is that direction. Okay, sorry. Little setup here, guys. But, okay. So, I hope you can hear me. I'll come check your messages in a second. What I'm working on is making beef bites because the power on the battery packs is very low. It's charging, it's coming up fine. Um, but last night the refrigerator turned off, and that little 12-volt refrigerator freezer, I need a better battery for the cabin. Anyway, so doing carnivore, and after all the allergies, I have stuff going on. So I cooked up some of the hamburger that was in the fridge, and I probably didn't need to do it because it was partially frozen, but I don't want it to go bad. So this pot has melted tallow in it, and I need to pour this on the top of each one of these little bites to seal them. And then, these silicone trays are going to be a little bit wobbly to pick up. And I don't think I have, because I don't have an oven, I don't think I have any kind of, woo, uh, uh, like cutting board or something that I could move it with. I'm not sure about that. So the the general idea of what I'm doing is like preserving these a little bit, but making them so that this week I can just grab these and eat them. I don't have to cook. And that will help me with, and I'm just covering things, keeping things, yes, there's sunshine, keeping things as carefully as I can away from the cats and the dog, who are very happy this morning because they get to smell meat and all that kind of stuff. So I got a little drips. It's silicone. It'll come off. Um, I'm thinking I should push that under a little. It's probably not going to matter. These are not the pemmican for long-term storage. The pemmican for long-term storage I'm going to do in a similar way, but I'm going to use this dehydrated carne seca. Uh, it's beef and salt. That's all that's in it. Beef and sea salt. And what I'm going to do to this is use my portable rechargeable stick blender, which I already used this morning, so it's dirty. But I'm going to use this to pulverize that carne seca into a powder and then make pemmican out of it. Now, what I used this for already this morning was I cooked the ground beef in this wok, and then I used this. You want to see it work? I can't see you guys' messages while I'm doing this, but you unlock this one, and you can see the light up here for the battery charge, and then you just hold this, and it may not think, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. It's on. No, it's not. I can't see it for the sunshine, people. It has battery power. Anyways, there it goes. And I just ground the beef like, so the ground beef was cooked, and then I did this. And then I added a little bit of kosher beef gelatin into that mix. Okay, I'm not leaving a mess. Okay. I don't want to leave a mess. Oops, and lock it back. Well, it'll turn itself off. I'm just going to set that there for now because this is all set up so it could work really easily. But, you know, trying to lift, yeah, that's not going to work. So, okay. Now I'm going to have to do what? Let me get a bandana and put over that for a few minutes. Because I can't think of a... Wait. Can I slide it on this? See, this is what happens when you guys... When I start doing something on Sunday morning and I know I have a live feed coming up. All right, let me wipe this tray off. If I can carefully not spill the tallow... I should have done this before I poured the tallow. If I can carefully get this into this tray, I can... Oh, yeah, that's going to be a mess. How's another way? How's another way? If it was flatter, it would work better. Okay, and I'm probably standing right in you guys' way. Because I should have done it before I did the tallow. Okay, all right, that's messy. Okay. It's messy, but you know what? I got it. So, clean side of paper towels. Okay, clean side. Okay. Get as much, go away flies, of that off as I can. And we won't worry about it because I'll be able to clean that off. And then I'm going to take this tray, which I'll have to wash later. I'm going to take this tray into the air dehydrator to start with. So I'm going to turn you guys around because you probably have a good signal. And the air dehydrator right now is in the shower room. So for the first few minutes, yay! That will keep the flies off of it while we talk. So now I'm going to take you this way. A lot going on in the yard, but I don't know if it will mess up the signal. So try not to get flies in the house, in the cabin. Whoo! Here we are. Everything charged in here. All right, I'm going to turn you around. And I kind of want to sit down. Oh, but I didn't bring the stool in. You know what? The other stool's right here, but it has like tape measures and stuff on it. So I'm going to move them. So, you know, when I'm busy, you guys get what you get. It's like you came to visit at my house, and here we are. Okay, these can just go down here for right now. I had a little trouble with my... Well, not a big trouble, but my new phone, the case isn't quite what I needed. And so I've asked Amazon sending me a new one. Anyway, all right, stool's almost cleaned off. That's the water bottle for when the cats try to climb the screens. Because I don't want the cats climbing on the screens. Oh, this is going to make a mess. Because all that stuff was leaning on the stool. All right, never mind. This today for that because the thing I got the phone on because of the new case isn't straight. And all right, you're just going to get the best I can do for the moment. And so the phone, the picture, the way the phone is right now, the phone's all cockeyed on the tripod. Like, you know what? You can see my face. I'm going to leave it alone. What is smoldering? Okay, I put that paper towel with the oil, with the tallow into the thing this morning, just now. And it's it's smoldering. Okay, let me let me go back and see what y'all are talking about. So good morning. So I took that tray into the shower room, put it in the air dehydrator. If you've been watching my shorts, then you would have seen the air dehydrator. One of you guys bought that for me, like, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. And I've been using it off and on. And I was up at, now I can't eat bananas, okay? But I was up at Bash's. They had these really good looking bananas that were starting to get ripe. But most of the bags, the bananas only had like 1 or 2 brown spots on them. And for some reason, I bought a bag for 99 cents. And it was like a lot of bananas. So I just dehydrated them in the air dehydrator, partly to see if it still worked. And because we're getting afternoon monsoon rains, so I wasn't 100% sure if it was dry enough to do that. It is. And when I tried to get the vegetables, when I was trying to reintroduce vegetables, hey, Miss Wendy, I saw her. Oh, now she's in front of me. And you know, I'm afraid of touching the phone again. Anyway, so when I got the $15 produce box thing, I did some onions and squash and stuff like that. So I know it works well. Anyways. Oh yeah, dehydrated bananas for the dogs too. That's good. But what I did was I put that tray of that first batch I'm making in there to cool off because it's a zippered bug-proof place, so the flies won't bother it. And then when it firms up a little bit, I'll be able to take it and set it down in the little refrigerator. By that time, the fridge will be running. Right now, the fridge was on 18%. I mean, the battery pack was on 18%. By the time it's up to 25, I can run the fridge again. And so everything in the fridge, there's little ice packs in there. So it's a whole thing, but for right now, that'll let it cool down and solidify some without the flies getting on it. It's in the shade, it's in a zippered, thing. And then I can put it in the fridge afterwards, and it should, hopefully the way I did that, it'll gel up and solidify good, but kind of doesn't matter. They're going to be pre-cooked pucks of carnivore food. Like I said, I even put some kosher gelatin in those. I hope you got that information. But then I should be able to, when they're solid, I should be able to put them into Ziploc bags and keep them in the fridge. And as long as the fridge is cool, I don't have to worry about the meat going bad. I have one more small package of ground beef, but sometime a month and a half ago, maybe, I stopped being so hungry. Up until then, I could eat anything between, I don't know, between a pound and 4 pounds of meat in a day, and I was still hungry. So my body, using that as a guideline in a carnivore sense, I think my body just needed stuff to be doing its job. And sometimes it's hard, because you're guessing at what the signals are that are happening for you. So that's a lot of stuff. So, okay. So I want to run back, check your messages, see if you guys have asked me questions or brought things you want to talk about. Yeah, I'm busy, but it's not impossible. And when it was right at 9:30, I was like, I need to go push the button on the phone to start the thing. But I had just been melting the
tallow in that pot, and I used the Vargo stove with the converter stove thing, so alcohol stove, and that stove has to run out of fuel. And it was all melted and starting to make popping sounds, like you could put a potato in it, French fry it, right? Um, but it was starting to make that popping sound, and I needed to take the tallow off, but there was still fuel in the stove. So I had to think fast to put something on there because I didn't prepare like a pan of water to boil or something. Anyways, it's a thing. So let me go back, take a quick look at what you guys are saying. Like I said, I'm nervous about the way the phone's on here, but I'm just not going to be too concerned. So let me go up here. Oh, lots of comments. Looking forward to, oh, that's Iris. Hey, Iris, how are you? And Mary, no, Beth. Yeah, Beth and Mary. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm so glad you all can come out. You know, when I'm here alone so much, there are two things that keep me going in a social way. Three things. Maybe I should say three things. So I'm really bad at making phone calls to friends. I try. I challenge myself, but get I do good for a little while and then I do bad again, and then it's life. Um uh but going to the local market, swap meet market thing that we have in this area, so that I actually physically see my neighbors and get hugs from them and kind of get to talk to some of the other Sabbath keeping people that live in this area. And some of them have different ways of doing Sabbath than I do, but it doesn't matter. Um, just the fact that I get to see other humans, and Wendy has gotten used to, we get close. I she has a seatbelt. So I can drive to market with the window down and she's seat belted to the, the current one we like the most is seat belted to the headrest posts. And so she's pretty free, but careful. And I keep it short enough so she can't jump out. Anyways, we get close to market, and there's a couple of dogs that are there, livestock guardian dogs, Farkas and Daryl, and they're her buddies. And she can't wait to see them. Well, we get close, and she starts real high, shrill voice that she has. She starts talking to the other dogs. Oh my God, Mom, I'm so excited. We're going to see my friends. And she's all, anxious, trying to get out of the car. And she knows she's supposed to wait, that I always get out of the car first, but she's like all anxious, you know. And so, and her bark, and her voice when she's trying to use her voice to communicate, the chihuahua in it makes it so sharp, shrill. And one of the one of the vendors this week said, "We heard the siren before you got here. We knew you were coming." I was like, a little embarrassed, but what can you do? That's her voice. Okay. So Iris, Beth, Mary, uh Shane. Hi, Shane. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here too. Shane been going through some stuff. I hope it's okay to say, Shane, but his grandmother has been put in a home now, and his father's older, and I think his aunt and father and grandmother and everybody's close by where he is, and so he's been taken that Cobb grill that I was able to give him, and go into his father's and cooking steak for his father and stuff like that. That's kind of nice. But so he's dealing with family things kind of in his situation. Who else we got? Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth. Did I miss Donna? Is Donna R here? Yeah. Hi, Donna R. How are you? Kenneth, I don't see any cues. So there's a little bit of sun glaring off of the phone. So if you use the three uppercase cues to help me see your topic or question, it'll help me be able to talk about things a little better. Hey, Catherine. Oh, that's wonderful news, Catherine. I have no idea when they're going to start working on my engine. The last time Stan and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, it just reminded me, Catherine. Stan kind of indicated that once kids were going back to school, which is any time. So I figured late August, early September, when he's going to be able to start looking at the engine. Now, Stan is going to rebuild my engine or do a 2.0 engine swap, but he doesn't want to do any more. He wants to retire in all intents and purposes. He may keep the business going, but he may take more. He's tired. So he doesn't want to rebuild any more engines after mine. So, so okay. Sonia, hey, good morning, Sonia. Guess what, Sonia? I've been carefully testing foods that I thought I was okay with after the allergens. So, Sonia, if you feel like sending me more coffee, you know which one I loved? I loved this one. Well, I liked them all. Okay. This one I really liked. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have chicory, but I don't think this one bothered me. I don't know. But I just started, I reintroduced coffee. So, okay, so I was really, really sick from the allergy attack. The allergy attack started an MS flare. So I was almost 2 weeks, I could hardly walk. It was really challenging to do anything. So I would wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom, sit in a chair outside for a few minutes to rest because the walk from the shower house back to the house was almost, it was so painful. It was incredible. So, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Thursday, I think it was, um, I had gone shopping one day. I had kind of overdone it, but I think it was Thursday. I finally could lift the 40-pound bag only early in the morning, the 40-pound bag of bedding pellets. And I didn't think I was going to do much more than lift it out of the car and get it a few steps away from the car. I was able to walk it from the car across the driveway, through the gate to you can't see it. There's a little barrel under that window that it belonged in. And I was able to empty it in the barrel. And I was like, oh, good, I'm going to be okay. And I had to rest afterwards, but I knew that because I could do that chore, that eventually I'd be okay. So, I feel like you guys don't know. I got stung by a bee this week too. Well, if you're a member, Catherine's a member. I can't remember who else is, but if you're a member, you're getting more detailed information about what's going on with me during the week. So you would have known that I got stung by a bee. You would have known about the bobcat before everybody else, because sometimes I set some of the information to go to the members on YouTube first, and then a week or two later, it can go out public. And some of them I don't let go public at all because I just don't want people to know. So that's what's happening. Okay, so let me go back and check. So I saw Sonia and I was talking about coffee. Oh, because I took my diet way back to ruminant meat, salt, and water for a few days because the steroids made me feel good. And then I was like, well, I know I got to be careful with what I eat. So, the laundry list I went through last week, incredible, right? I'm so freaking allergic to so much freaking stuff. That's okay. But I already knew I could eat blueberries, and sometimes I can eat avocados. So, avocados being on the list of if you're allergic to lettuce, I think it's lettuce. Or was it? No. If you're allergic to, I don't have the list in front of me. If you're allergic to pineapple, you might need to watch avocados. But maybe I'm not so allergic that I can't have it sometimes. Maybe I could have avocado once a month, but I probably can't have it every day. But I know I can't have it every day. Anyway, so like I said, I pulled myself back and had my diet pretty clean and was starting to feel better. I don't know if it's the steroids. I'm gonna make a TMI comment, but constipation. I don't know if that was from the wow, that kicked my butt too. But anyway, um, don't know if that was from the steroids or what. Anyway, got through that stuff. And so yesterday, I made a cup of black coffee, and I still feel okay. I think I might need to be careful for a little while and not have it too often. I also, because technically, I'm not allergic to milk and dairy anymore. Well, I tried yogurt, but I bloated up like a balloon. And I tried Swiss cheese and I bloated up like a balloon. But luckily, I have animals that eat meat and stuff. So they got that food. I didn't mind, a $3 container of yogurt and $1.50 thing of Swiss cheese. The animals can have a treat. No big deal. So they did. And so I won't be doing those right away, but did some research because research is what I do when I don't feel good. And I decided to try butter again. Perhaps part of what was happening for me, like the doctor in the emergency room said, I've been so inflamed and reactive that up until the steroid treatment, it didn't matter what I tried, I was going to react to it. So he said, give yourself a little break, let your body calm down. Then the list they gave you says, and I'm like, yeah, but I've always been allergic to, and and he goes, but maybe you're not. Maybe, he said, the inflammation is the allergies, not the MS. And so getting that chunk of information, I realized that if I eat something different today and tomorrow my joints hurt, it's probably the thing I ate different. So pay attention. So I tried butter, and so far, I'm not reacting to it. So I had coffee. First, I had black coffee by itself. And this morning, I had black coffee with butter in it. I think I need to have more of that healthy fat in my diet, but I was struggling to do that because some things just don't taste good. So that's that story. And being kosher, in my mind, the way I understand kosher, I don't use dairy with beef. So I won't use butter with beef. That's me. You do you. But that's how I see it. So I'll use butter with chicken. I'll use butter with coffee. I'll use butter as a way to help my diet, help my carnivore budget be better, because butter in the world of things is pretty inexpensive. Now, on the allergy list, it also said that I'm not allergic to egg whites. I'm not ready to test it yet, but I already asked my closest neighbor who has chickens if I can get a couple from them when I'm ready, because I've been pretty allergic. But if it's egg whites and I can do egg whites, how cool would that be? Egg whites cooked in butter for breakfast sounds like a thing. I think I could do that. And yeah. So I also, for, I don't remember when it was, month and a half, 2 months ago, that I just stopped being so hungry. I started to tell you that earlier, I think. I don't remember if I finished the thought, but um, I stopped being so incredibly hungry. And I go to eat beef and I'm sort of like, okay. I know I need to eat, so I'll eat. But so I decided to try some chicken, skin on chicken thighs. Yes, they're from the grocery store. The price has been good. I can sometimes get a sale package that's solid, frozen solid, from one of my local stores, and it'll be under $5 for like between 4 and 6 um, thighs, and cooking that in butter with some salt, and then having it cooked, and then having a cold piece. Kind of nice to have a piece for lunch that way. It just feels good. And but I'm just not as hungry as I used to be. I don't know what changed, but okay. And if some of these changes are, it doesn't matter, right? It's just it's been very challenging, this whole allergy MS flare. It's been hard. It's been really hard. I actually sat and cried a couple of days. Is this going to be the end of my life? Is this the way it all happens? And I just can't do anymore. It's this, I can't lift anything and I can't carry and I can't work like. And what happens when the people start coming around, the vultures, right? Wanting to, because you're going to die, let's help you die faster and let's take all your shit, you know, stuff rather. So, those thoughts went through my mind, and I had a couple of weird nightmare, bad dreams, and whatever. Let me go catch up with you guys. That's enough talking for a minute. Okay, so that was with the buffering. Make the mess. Yeah, I just can't afford to. If I make the big mess, I can't afford to, like, I only have limited stuff. And I spent a bunch of money on some stuff to finish up some of these projects around the house this month. So a little tight on grocery money, but I bet I'll get through okay. Um, make messes so you can talk to me. We're back. Okay, Shane. Um, yes, bananas are good to feed to dogs. Did you guys see in the Facebook group that I shared the thing that now the Benadryl gel cap things, don't give them to your dogs because they're putting xylitol in it? Bad stuff for dogs. Kenneth, I like that comment, Kenneth. Kenneth, it says, these days, if I don't have a mess, it's only because I have become such a minimalist that there's nothing to mess up. You know what? I like that kind of minimalism. I don't like all this, stuff I've got all over the place where there's this project and that project. And, those two posts are waiting for cement before I can put them in. And I need to figure out which Harbor Freight shade tarp is coming to work with that. And this other thing is, yeah, it's like, too much sometimes. Hey, Babs, love you. By the way, I connected with Shepherds. Foster Shepherd is evidently a neighbor of mine. And he came, he needed some gas money. I was able to give him something to do that would so he could have gas money. And he didn't know that he that he kind of said, "You look so familiar, but I don't know where from," right? And then we got talking, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Babs." He goes, "I love Babs. She's my friend." So anyway, yeah, I like minimalism a lot. No cues in front of anything, so I'm just picking things that. Whoops, honey, I'm sorry. Um, the kitties have a box, um, a coroplast box right beside the back door. Um, it's what they were delivered to me in, and I had something on top of it to keep the rain and the weather off of it. It just kind of collapsed. So it scared the cat. So I just had to move it a little bit so they can maneuver. Uh, Babs, what size is my battery pack? There you go. Okay, so I have a Rock Pals battery pack that is a 300 watt, and I have an old, very old Bowden's that's 166 watts. Those two work really, really well. They have their little quirks, especially the Rock Pals. It had too many fail safes in it, and so it shuts off more than I'd like it to, but it's still, I've learned how to maneuver it. So then one of my followers decided that they wanted a piece of a kit that EcoFlow was selling for what they thought was a reasonable price. So they sent the whole kit to me kind of before they asked me about it. Anyways, but they sent the whole kit. And then they said, it's on loan to you for 9 months. That's been a while ago. So now we're at what, 7 months or something now. So, but like there's pieces of it I didn't even open the boxes. Okay. So when I go to town this week, I'll be mailing one of those pieces to that person because it's the part that they wanted really badly. And they said they'd help me with the money for that, that they could cash at me enough money to make sure that gets sent to them. And then, so they also sent me, it part of that package was an EcoFlow battery pack. This battery pack will not charge at all. I have tried to reset it. I have tried to do all kinds of things to it, and I can't make it stay charged. Every single night, even when the power is completely turned off, if I leave the solar plugged in the back, every single night it loses 5%. What's the point? Um, I think it was a, I think it's a, I've forgotten now. It's a Delta 2. I'm thinking its peak is like 1,028 watts peak. So it probably makes it a 600 or an 800 watt normal, but I can't keep it charged. So, and it's not mine. So I've talked to that person about it. They've been talking to EcoFlow about how it's defective, but they're struggling to figure out what to do about how to get it back to EcoFlow. And of course, because of the way it was happening, I didn't keep the box. So, no. So that's the answer about the battery packs. What I need here at the cabin is a sealed AGM because of my breathing things. So it can be inside the cabin, a sealed AGM 100 watt hour battery. That's what I need here. That's about $300-ish. And I don't want a LifePo 4. There's reasons for it, but a sealed AGM marine RV or a golf cart, but any of those is that's what I need here. And one or two batteries like that, and they're about $300 a piece. I don't have $300 to be spending on anything. And this is one of the challenges I have because right now I'm still paying off that loan that was how many cars ago, right? So, and that was a big mistake. I wish I had not done that. I should have just done without a vehicle, but it would have been harder than it is now. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But uh, so I am down to $2,100 on that bill, on that loan. When that's paid off, should be January, February, something like that. At the same time, January, February, my disability SSDI should switch over to SSA retirement. Pain in the ass. I'm sorry. Wow, where's my language coming from? Anyway, so that's the actual need I have, is for the cabin to have sealed AGM marine 100 watt hour battery, one or two of those. That's what would solve the issues at the cabin. Now, in the vehicle, the battery packs I have are not quite enough to keep that fridge in a freezer mode. But you know what? I traveled all the way to Baja with the roto molded, and it's navy blue. That is not the right color for a cooler, but the roto molded cooler that Bernie bought me. It's a moose jaw cooler. I just every once a week ish, I would find a nice house, which gave me another interaction with people. And so I went all the way to Baja with that. I didn't have anything else. And the things I'm learning about processing my meat this way, by the time these solidify, those things we just made this morning, when those solidify and when the pemmican solidified. Now, the pemmican made with the dehydrated beef, when that solidifies, that can stay outside of a refrigerator for 100 some odd years. Doesn't even matter. But the other kind I made with the fresh meat that's not dry, not dehydrated, that has to be cool. But cool and frozen are two different things. And so learning all these little tricks will help. And if I find out that I can eat egg whites, then I can buy eggs again. So I just throw away egg yolks, or I don't know if Wendy will eat an egg yolk. Oh no, if she will, that's great. But I think I'm making sense to you guys that this is my process of figuring out what's the best way, the simplest, keep it simple, please, Lesa. There are times when I beat my own head with, why are you making this so hard? It's not always making it hard. It's like figuring out, how can I make it more simple? But when you're allergic to everything in the world, and the very first thing that happens to you is the brain fog, the thought process is so freaking hard. Let me check your messages again. So, on the road, if I was going to take the refrigerator again, which I don't think I want to do, I think I want to keep that refrigerator here at the cabin. When I get back on the road, I think what I would like, you guys could go research this. And very soon, what's his name? Playing with Sticks on YouTube. I can't remember his name right quick. Anyway, real quick, like maybe this week or in the next couple of weeks, he's going to have a new review on the oyster aluminum cooler. It's a they're calling it a okay, so they've made it with the double walls, just like the stainless steel jugs that keep ice forever or for a long time. Like, oh, by the way, I also this month when I went to Walmart, I also bought a larger double wall stainless. What's the um uh ice jug? Okay, and I thought, because Bernie had a bigger one than I did, so my ice jug has always been the 64 ounce, because I had tested it and it worked, and it was only $14-15, and so it's been working so good. It was like, just if it works, don't knock it, don't try to replace it. But I realized that I really like a cold drink when it's really hot. And MS, I have trouble with the heat, a lot of trouble. And if the sunshine hits the top of my head, it's a problem. I need to get a hat, like, I'm not really cowgirl style, but whatever. But like cowgirl hats or cowboy hats have a little airspace above your head. So the brim, no, the crown of the hat has a little space above your head. And if I was to get a straw, like woven one, the air could go through. I think I should do something like that. My previous hat was straw, but it was only the visor and it wasn't enough. And I used to use wet bandanas and then put that on over it. It wasn't enough. For my MS, that's not enough. So I need to do something about a hat for this summer. And so I've had to dodge the sun a lot this summer. But I find that if I can have an icy drink, and an icy drink for me seems to be plain Pellegrino or plain sparkling waters. I don't really like aluminum cans. I never have. I hate all the trash. I've thought about getting a soda stream, but I don't know if that's an answer to the trash. It's expensive to buy one of those, but I guess they don't take much or any power. I guess it's not how it works. But anyway, but they're too expensive up front. So for now, when I go to Bashas', I can get, and I don't love plastic bottles either, but I can get plastic bottles of Poland Springs sparkling or something. And it's like, how many is it? 4 for $5, where the Pellegrino is 2 for $5. And Pellegrino is in a glass bottle, which is nice, but then I have a lot of glass bottles to throw away. I thought about saving the glass bottles and doing like a bottle wall somewhere, but I can't imagine wanting that right now. So for the moment, I'm taking them to the trash. But being able to have the plain sparkling water helps me drink more water. So having ice cubes with that makes a big deal. And Wendy has figured out she loves an ice cube. Oh my goodness. So now she'll nudge my drink when she wants ice cube. So I got a gallon double wall stainless at Walmart. $25, I think it was. And I got to check with them. I was supposed to call. It should be fine. But there's a little piece missing off of my cap. So I'm going to have to take that back when I go back up and see what I think there's a piece missing on mine. But anyways, it keeps ice just as good as my little one does. So if you guys are looking for ice jugs where you can take them into the gas station and get free ice when they let you. Some places will charge you for it. In Arizona, they're not supposed to charge you for water or ice. It's on the legal laws of the state because they don't want anybody to die of thirst. So it's illegal in Arizona, but some places will still do it. Anyway, but I know that my 64-ounce jug, I can just show it at the door when I'm walking in a Circle K and say, may I please just fill it with ice? Oh, yeah, go right ahead. No problem. So I appreciate that free ice. The getting the gallon one, now if I buy a 7-pound bag of ice, it goes in the gallon one, nice cold water as it melts. But it's keeping the ice just as long. And so it'll fill both of my things with a 7-pound bag of ice. So uh, $2.50 or whatever it is. And I feel like it's easier that I'm just buying a bag of ice and doing this. So the reason I got off on that whole conversation was because of this oyster cooler that I've been watching since I first saw it. Okay, because I'd been hunting for a metal cooler. One of the things I don't like about it is that it's not bear safe. But, you know, my little tracker with that fiberglass topper on it, it's not very bear safe anyways. And that night, those 2 nights in Idaho that I spent sleeping with a bear outside, they made me very much aware that this would be real easy for a bear to just pull the roof right off and get at anything it wants in here. And if I'm in the way, I'm going to get hurt. So I will be careful in bear country to put things outside of where I'm sleeping, or choose to sleep in a tent, do my meals away from where I'm camping, like I did when I was hiking, use a bear bag and hang it in the tree, whatever I need to do. But I will have to do something. This Oster, it's not Oster. Oster is the old glass blender. But this oyster, I think it's Tempo cooler, is aluminum, double wall. It has the double wall thing is just like those stainless steel jugs, but being aluminum, it's lighter weight, and they've made all the parts replaceable. And I just really want to. I really want them to give me one to review. And I don't know, because it's really expensive. And I don't know how I'm going to get them to give me one to review. I don't know if one of you guys is really better at writing a thing than I am, but I think I want that for the tracker, for when I get back to traveling. Because you can use ice in it, but it also comes with ice packs that the stuff they put inside theirs is different and freezes at a different temperature. And so if you're able to put those into something that can freeze them solid, they last longer. But even if you don't and you put ice in it, the guy that I don't think I'm going to remember his name, but his channel name, but there's a guy who reviews coolers is his big thing. His new test that he did, out of all the coolers he tested, let's see if I can remember. The Cabela's, I can't remember the name of the other one. There's another one that's roto molded plastic, but that the color changes as it gets warmer. So when you put ice in it, the color's one color, and as it gets warmer, the color of the cooler changes. So you know by just visually seeing it that the colors, that the temperature's changing. But over a couple of weeks, he watched 35 or 38 coolers with ice in them, and he did a home test. They were kind of in the shade and whatever. And he said, out of all of them, even though this one is a smaller overall size, he goes 12 days with ice in it. Nothing else that size. And it was ice cubes, not blocks of ice. And he said, nothing else in that size kept any ice past 6 days, I think. And that one stayed 12. And so I would really, 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 if somebody out there wants to help me figure out how to talk to the company to see if they'll give me this horribly expensive, I think it's almost $400 for the cooler. Um, but I think yes, I could be wrong. I was kind of waiting on Playing with Sticks review because I knew he'd had it for a while. Kept seeing it in the back of his videos, and I kept waiting, when is he going to review it? Because I like the way he thinks. He thinks a lot like I do. Well, or something. We think similar in ways. So I'm really interested in that cooler a lot, but I don't know. That's an expensive cooler. So anyway, all right, let me go back to. Okay, so that's how I got off on the stainless steel. So I finished those thoughts, right? Yeah. And as I'm looking up in the thinking process, I just noticed we had rain again last night. I didn't take the broom and sweep the little puddles of water off the tarp on the roof. Hey, that tarp's working. I can come out here in the rain. It's fantastic. I also purchased this month off of Amazon the extra tarp to finish this. And now it's just a matter of how we finish it from like going from up here. It has to underlap the one we already have up there, and it'll go down. And I'm not quite sure. It'll go down a little bit. And then I'm not quite sure how I finish the rest of this, but I'm working that out because before November, I want this back patio as enclosed-ish, like screened porch style as possible, even if it's just using tarps and shade cloth and the patio balcony, not patio, balcony privacy shade cloth stuff for partial walls that will help with the wind. So that's the direction I'm going. But so before November arrives, or early in November, how about before Thanksgiving? I want this enclosed enough that I know that if I've got to stay here all winter, I can use this as an extra room in the winter, and that it basically becomes my kitchen. So that's the goal with this. Shower house, I was hoping that was all done, but it's not quite, because I've run into a couple of problems, and I got stung by the bee because the bees are hanging. They come in the afternoon when it gets hot, and they hang 2 handfuls on the little orange faucet in there. And I'm like, yeah. And that's how I got stung. And it hurt. And I'm okay. I'm not allergic to bees. All right. So battery packs. I'm not sure I even want another one, but I hope I answered that question good. Okay. Okay. Hey, Bonnie. Okay, so that was Babs. What size are my battery packs? So I think I answered that. I got that one twice. Bonnie, thank you for coming. It was so nice to see you direct in traffic at RTR that last time I went. Okay, here's some more cues. What are these cues? This is from Beth. Oh, Catherine and Babs are members. There you go. I think I have 25 members or something. I'd like to improve that, guys, because I want to stop using Facebook. I had trouble this week, twice this week. No, 3 times this week. Somebody from Brazil tried to hack into my Facebook account. I'm getting tired of that mess. And Facebook doesn't pay me anything, so what's the point? There's Donna K. How are you guys doing, Donna K? Your dogs also get Greek yogurt. Yeah, you know what? Wendy doesn't even like it. And to be honest with you, now that I've started eating chicken again, Wendy loves the poultry flavors. Of course, we don't know what her genetics are, but I know she loves the poultry flavors, which is why the having chickens is a well, plus the fact that I don't want to be here 24/7, and chickens are not cheap to. If I'm getting eggs from them, that's a whole nother thing. But and if I can eat them, but right now, chickens is not the thing to do. And yes, the hen is still laying on the eggs. Eventually, that'll. Oh, and I bumped into. I forgot her name. Bumped into my goat milk lady. Her goats have just had babies again. She's decided to go ahead and milk again. And so it'll be during the winter before I can get goat milk from her, raw goat milk from her. But I'll be able to get that. And we used to have a deal that on a Sabbath when they were coming to market, I could pay her ahead of time online. She would just bring me a little pint. And I would bring a clean jar and swap her jars. And then on Sunday, I could have goat milk in my coffee, or I could make goat milk and salmon chowder, which was really good. And it might be nice to have that routine again. All right, let's see. Bernie's popping in. Anxieties make the best worst nightmares. Yeah. Yeah, anxieties. And, I, for a moment in my life, took a job one time in Fairfax, Virginia, for an elderly person's home because I was struggling getting a job. And those people, they would give the clients, the people who were living at the old folks' home, were given for dinner 1 tablespoon of spaghetti and 2 tablespoons of Jello every day. That's what they fed them all the time. And when I said, these people need to eat, they're hungry. And she said, no, they're going to die anyways. They may as well die now. And I was like, so you put some of that stuff in my mind when I start feeling like maybe I'm getting too old and I'm going to have a problem and it's going to be my turn to go, on the heels of Ken passing away and Dave Diffner passing away. It just, yeah, that'll turn into a nightmare in a heartbeat. Like, oh yeah, if they find out I'm allergic to blah, 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 they'll give it to me so they can. Okay. And I had that other person who came here and said, yeah, I want to be your emergency contact because when you die, I'll get your house. I was like, you know what that screams to me? The red flags all go up with the, oh, so you're probably going to kill my ass. Give me something I'm allergic to so that, No, my son is getting this place. Now, there are some things I've said to him about sharing it with certain people. And like Shane and Lily, Shane is my emergency contact person. He's not a romantic interest person. That's on purpose because romantic interest people will do all kinds of shit. And I know Shane to be a very, straightforward, respectable person. And he gets the short end of the stick in some conversations, but whatever. And so it really pissed me off when I was in the emergency room and he called and they wouldn't talk to him. And he's my emergency person. Boy, I want to jump all down their throat. Anyway, but he knows when I go, my son gets this, but he can come camp here. It's a thing. So, all right. Hugs to me. Who's this? This is Iris, right? It has been really tough time for you. Yeah, it has. Um, you are a pillar of strength and a great mentor. Thank you. Thank you, Iris. I don't know if I really deserve that, but I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the great creator. And I think that the creator has some reason for me to be doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to keep doing it. And I appreciate that you guys can see that and that these comments just help me know that I'm worth this effort. Because sometimes this is a big effort. And sometimes it's like, oh crap, I'm doing blah, 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 and I didn't grab the phone. I should be taking pictures of this. I should be filming this. And it's like, yeah, but I need to get it done. So setting up the camera and then having to, some days that's too much stuff. But I thank you, Iris, so much. I appreciate that so, so much. Uh, is it Sharon? I'm looking on the phone. It's tiny, tiny. It looks like Rockwood. I may not be quite right. Hi. Oh, it's Stephen, not Sharon. Okay. And guys, if you put the 3 uppercase Q's, I know to focus on it faster, but I found yours. So it says, hello, by the way, did you ever get your tracker back home? Enjoy your channel very much. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I do have super thanks and super chats and all of that kind of stuff. Oh, and I just passed something in YouTube that they're now allowing me to do another thing that I need to go research how to do. I forgot what it's called. I gave him that. Thank you so much for enjoying my channel. I try to be very authentic and real, and what you see is what you get. And I had planned to change clothes this morning out of the shirt, so the spots on the shirt, just overlook them. Okay, this is real life, people, and I was in the middle of cooking when it was time to do the live. My tracker did get back to St. John's. It is at Stan's Auto and Diesel Performance Shop in St. John's, Arizona. Stan is the father who owns the shop. Stan Lee owns and runs the diesel portion of it and a tow truck service. His tow truck service is Blue Line Towing. Stan has told me, because I've already talked to him about filming as they start to rebuild or do an engine swap, whichever one he decides to do. I will be down there more often. We will film more of that. When I talked to Stan about that, Stan said, yes, you can do all that filming. Yes, you can put it out, and it's okay that people know it's me that's doing it. But I want everybody to be clear. This is the last one I want to do. He's had a couple of knee replacements, had some shoulder replacements and things. He's a year older than me, I believe. Close. And so he's kind of wanting to semi-retire. And so my engine rebuild or swap might be the last of the big projects that he personally does. That doesn't mean that he can't oversee the shop doing it. And Jeremy, under his direction, is excellent. Well, Jeremy's good at that stuff anyways. But of course, having Stan's extra knowledge, the two of them together, Stan can tell Jeremy what to do, and Jeremy can do it just like that. So it may be that the shop can do stuff, but Stan himself is not going to want to either rebuild an engine or do an engine swap, whichever he decides to do. That's my answer, Stephen, on that. So it is close by down in St. John's. And I go by the shop and I go out and check on it. And it's sad to see it sitting under the tree in the backyard. And yet, deep breath. I have to do what I have to do. And I should say, now, I can't think of her name quickly. I haven't. The blue car, the widow that helped me to get that blue car so that I could get home. I've thought of her quite a lot in the last 2 weeks and how I'm so grateful. And it's been so hard for me because I know more to the story. And it's been so hard for me. And so I'm so grateful that that car, even though I put about close to $2,500 in it, I think, so I could get home, or at least $2,000 into it, so I could get home, which is why I have no emergency funds at all. And because of the way things have been, I can't save any money right now with inflation and everything else. But I have been able to, all this time, I was able to get here. I've been able to run to the store. I've been able to get to the post office. I've been able to continue my life and start, in the last couple of months, start to see my creativity at home again. And that's thanks to her. Now, she has a website that's the goddess something. She does jewelry stuff and encourages people to get back in touch with their creative side through the goddess energy stuff. I'm not so into that as she is, but I need her to know that I appreciate her and that I appreciate the gift she gave me of being able to get back home. And I have the little keychain thing that I made out of the heart-shaped beads she made for me. I have those things hanging in the house and I look at them all the time. And I think of her a lot because it was her husband's death that allowed me to get home and to continue with my life, and basically to even be able to get out of this property in really bad weather, because what I was able to get from her, for it was like $1 I paid her for the car, okay? And it's a 4-door 2001 tracker with 4-wheel drive and a 6-cylinder engine, which is not the favorite of any of my mechanics, but it drives through the mud and snow like nobody's business. And so far we haven't had that much mud and snow, but I can get out of here in bad weather. And so the freedom that she gave me by this process has been an incredible gift, because otherwise, I would have been a whole winter camped out in the house with, I miss the family, Mike Boss and his family at Boss Customs. I miss that family. His wife Sam and his children, Alice and oh no, oh no, oh no, Alice and oh no, and their son. It's right here, Bruce. I was like, wait, it's right here, because I usually say Bruce and Alice, and I said Alice first. Okay, so Alice and Bruce, Sam and Mike from Boss Customs, and Jeremy, their friend, Jeremy Lemon up there. I missed them. I didn't realize how much I missed them until, a little while ago. But that was because being here was a big struggle alone. This place was not set up for anybody to stay here more than a few weeks. And so to try to maneuver everything I had to maneuver with MS and bad weather and the allergies, and not knowing that the inflammation was the allergies, I thought it was the MS. So the learning curves I've been going through, trying to maneuver this and off grid is not cheap and it's not easy. And if you're a nomad and you think that you can go get a piece of property and become a nomad with a cabin, and that this is going to be cheap and easy for you, it may not be. People on incomes like mine, my SSDI is $1,100 a month this year. People on incomes like mine, generally in the world, please pay attention. Generally, that's in quotes, okay? Generally in the world, can afford either an apartment or a home of some kind or a car. Generally, they can't afford both. And I have to say, as a nomad, it's not cheaper. That's not cheap. Off grid's not cheap. But if you invest in yourself, invest in skills because they don't cost anything to carry, invest in know how, learn how to do turtle steps because baby steps are too big. And every time life throws you a curveball, start to take that curveball. It threw it, you catch it, and rather than it smacking you straight in the head and it hurts so bad, you say, all right, I got you. Now we're going to make an adventure out of you. So the curveball then gets changed into an adventure. I'm just saying, that's how I maneuver. And I just know that the great creator has got my back because people hardly ever have. I do realize I've got some people who have my back now. I still am going to be self responsible. I think we all ought to be radically independent. I think we all should make sure we're doing our best to take care of ourselves and not depending on somebody else to do something for us. I have had people, in fact, public, Bob Wells kind of people, promise me things that never happened. And I could get angry about it, but what's the point? Had he at one point actually done something he said he was going to do, I wouldn't be in debt right now. But what's the point in there's no point in carrying that on. Karma's whatever. And and karma is not something that I need to feed into. So you know what? If that's the way a person wants to carry themselves, you know, that's the thing the creator takes care of. I just got to be over here taking care of me. And if this person wants to deal with whatever, whether it's a Bob Wells or a somebody else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters in my life is that I live my beliefs and that I carry on and do my best to take care of myself on my own. That's what matters the most. And that as I do that, that I remember to be gentle and kind. And when other people were not gentle and kind with me, I want to be even more gentle and kind with others. So I'm the kind of person that will virtually hold your hand as you maneuver difficult stuff. And if we get an opportunity to meet up, whatever, that's all good too. But so I'm sorry. I get on these things. So I answered Stephen's question about the tracker, and now let's see, where am I going next? Throw the egg yolks at your enemies. There you go. Oh yes, I forgot about that, Donna Kay. Cats love eggs as well. That is possible that I could go that direction in the future. I'm not sure that I want to go so far as to have chickens again. But if I do, I want them. in these trees where I started off trying to put the chickens to start with. And if that means I need to get barred rock banties, smaller barred rocks, I will. But the barred rocks are the bomb. And I now know that even though it wasn't my favorite choice because I'm not in love with plastic stuff, but the plastic hardware cloth, it's black. I guess it comes in a couple of colors, but it's generally black and you could see through it really well. And if they were right there where I could see them different, I would enjoy watching them, but I don't really want to be home that much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. I see that, Beth. Double wall stainless. You have TAL? Okay. Or you have a tall one, maybe. Kenneth, right now. Okay, you guys are talking about dogs or something. Scrambled eggs and butter. Of course they're going to like that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Mary is saying that she got a golf umbrella, and how nice is it to have the shade? Oh, yeah. So, Mary, I used to have a beach umbrella that had just the little, up at the top of a beach umbrella, sometimes they have that little fluttery part that is a vent for the air, right? And it used to be over by where my hammock is. I put a T-post in the ground and I zip tied it to this T-post. That stayed up, and I would put it down when I would go on a trip, and I would put it back up when I was here. That stayed up there, and the fabric was fine for, I think it was 3 years. It might have been 4 years. So the T-post thing in the ground, because you're not far away in New Mexico, you're over near Albuquerque. I'm just saying, if you need that idea, it's a great idea. It works really good. Put a T-post, doesn't matter how tall or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't do a 3-foot one. Most of my T-posts most of them have only been 5-footers because I didn't have the money to buy taller ones. And actually, my perimeter fence, they need to be 6-footers. So, because of the cattle law, the free range cattle law and fencing says that you need to have 6-foot T-post and 4 strands of barbed wire. And then if cattle get inside that, then you can go to the rancher, and the rancher is liable for the damage. So that's why they're supposed to be that tall in Arizona. I don't know about other places. Let me go back. Oh, Kenneth Bailey, listen to you. Your dog Sunday brunch, minus the cheese. That was my favorite when I was in Costa Rica. My Sunday brunch, my Sundays, I often would go into San Isidro de El General, and I would often go to the Gringo restaurant spot. It had this big like patio thing where you could, it was open air. So, anybody walking by on the sidewalk, everybody would go, "Oh, Miss Lesa, hey, how are you today?" They'd come in and have coffee with you. But I was always getting eggs and tomatoes for breakfast. That was my Sunday brunch. That was nice. Yeah. With black coffee. Okay. Ice cubes for Wendy. Wendy paying the puppy tax. It's so cute. And yet, it's great that she's learning to take care of herself that way, and she understands. And it was funny yesterday. She came up to me and started talking, and I was like, "Okay, I don't know what you want. What do you want? I don't understand." And she finally got me to understand. She said it in her dog voice. She said it, I don't know how many times. I can't even do it. But anyways, um, I don't know how many times she said it. And finally I went, you don't want a treat. That's not the way you talk to me when you want a treat. Usually when she wants a treat and it's food, she'll talk a little bit and then she'll look at me. And if I'm not paying attention the way she wants, she'll lick her lips. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, food? Treat? Right? Yeah. And then she'll go, I don't know. She has this look. And I'll know, oh yeah, that's treat. Okay. Well, so it wasn't treat, but it was like, okay, this has to do with something. I'm like, because of trying to see, she doesn't want to go outdoors. I can't figure it out. And finally, she walks over to my drink cup and does that with her nose. Almost tipped it over. By the way, I want to replace my everyday drink cup with something glass, but because of my MS and my occasional instability and the stone floors on my porch and patio, it needs to have a silicone something. If somebody has a good suggestion, or if somebody wants to just buy me a thank you gift off of Amazon, please. I'm hunting for, I don't really want a mason jar one because they're fat and they're hard for my hands to hold. If I'm having an MS moment when my grip is hard, I can't hold it. So I like that summer cup with a straw thing, but anyways, I want a nice big drink cup, but I want it to be glass instead of, and part of the reason I like the glass, I like to see inside of what's going on so that I know how much I drank or did I finish it without having to pick it up. And that's why I don't like the stainless steel. I don't like to drink out of it. I don't know. I don't like that I can't see inside it. That's a sidebar thing. But okay, so Wendy nudging my cup. I was like, oh, you have water. So what is it you... I opened it up. I put the cup down, and she tries to get her nose inside the top of the cup, and she's trying to bite it an ice cube. Okay, that's what you want. Okay, let me pull you out an ice cube. Put it in my hand, and she's... and then takes it over to her dog bed and crunches it. And I was like, it's so funny. So puppy tags, yeah. Golf brother. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, would you guys do the thumbs up, please? It does help algorithms and stuff. Please check out the videos and shorts I'm starting to do more of. I have a lot of stuff I need to get out to you guys. I appreciate that. Hey, it's kind of nice. The last little bit, I've gotten $10 a month from YouTube. It's kind of nice. And that won't screw up my SSDI if I get $10 a month. And some of my Amazon stuff, I'm starting to get a little more money from my Amazon store. But I'm trying to be careful that when I really kick it up to make money, it's like January when my things change. Stephen Ballet, nice to see you, man. My son asked about you again. Hope I'm doing good this morning. I am. I feel really good. I just got up at like 5 o'clock and got kind of busy quickly while it was cool. And of course, I really love to come outside and get that first light in my eyes. I think it's kind of important. And my animals like that too. So I wish I could show you Wendy right now, but I'm not turning the phone around. I don't want to lose the signal. Oh yeah, the color changing cooler. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. In fact, I saw where somebody was making a CNC cut sink that's like a free form. I think it was a bathroom sink, a free form cut bathroom sink, and he used process that when you put hot water in it, the inside of the sink turns red, and when you put cold water in it, it turns blue. And I thought that's pretty cool technology. I like the idea. Um, uh, okay, so Mary, I'm just seeing the cues. Thank you so much. The cues help me focus better. What brand cooler is that? It is the Oyster or Oyster. I think it's Oyster. Oyster. Why can I not say this? Oyster Tempo cooler. Check out, because I've had vintage coolers that worked like nobody's business, but they improved on the vintage because aluminum, first off, it's lightweight. Second off, it keeps, aluminum keeps cold well. And so this cooler, as expensive as it is, if you buy cold stuff at the store and you put it inside the cooler, it'll cool the cooler down and hold the temperature quite some time. So part of what they're telling people is if you're using it to get your groceries home from the grocery store, you put the cold food in it, you get home, it's still cold for you to put it in your refrigerator. I just noticed, because I can see me, that that's a little dark right there. I had, which is usually an allergy thing, they used to call it raccoon eyes, right? I had something yesterday that I realized I'm not allergic to, but that I need to be careful of. And I never even had paid attention to how many carbs was in it. And I do react to carbs and lectins, and yeah, y'all have heard that. But I just noticed that, and I wonder if that's the tiredness from having had that. And now it's, I was about to say it's all gone. Yes, it's all gone. I think there's no more of it here. So I won't buy any more. Um, uh, but I think that was a mistake. And what was the other thing I had the other day that I thought was a mistake? Not, I had blueberries because Bash's had blueberries with your membership for $1.49 a package, and I bought 2 packages. I do not react to blueberries. I'm going to keep blueberries for sometimes. And of course, when I'm making a pemmican, if I have a dehydrated blueberry to put in the pemmican, that would make it even tastier. You know, it's another thing. But anyway, so the cooler was an Oyster Tempo. Somebody, Beth is good at that. Maybe you could stick that up here, but it's too expensive to ask somebody to help me buy it, because I don't think that's fair. Okay, if somebody asked me, I'd just go, I'll give you $50 to help you get ready for it, but I don't see how, because it's an expensive cooler. But dang, if I could be up on the, put me on the list so that I can like show it off and travel, and if I could get that as like a gift in a sponsorship kind of way. They gave it to people, but people with bigger channels. Okay, I haven't asked for it. I haven't sent them an email at all. I asked for Xero shoes. Xero shoes came through. The only problem I've had is the last 2 months, I don't have enough money to buy my first pair. But I still talk about Xero shoes. I love them. I love barefoot shoes. For me with MS, being able to feel the ground is a big part of my being okay, and it helps my stability in an incredible way. Plus, for people like Catherine, she talked about it one time, having the wide toe box helps. Some people's feet are different, and so it's a wide toe box. Your feet do their normal stuff, and I'm anxious to get a pair of Xero shoes. But first off, the last time I went in to see if I could get the sandals I really wanted, which would be in the $25-$30 with my discount. But They didn't have my size or the color. I don't want just plain black. And then I could go for shoes, but I'm going to need boots soon, and I can only buy 2 pair in 6 months, and I just don't have the money to buy them right now. So that's another thing. But brand wise, I probably will buy some more expensive danger coffee. It is good coffee. I want to stay away from the molds as much as I can, and so I may go ahead and spend the money on danger coffee in the future, because I'm being very careful, and now that I understand about that, uh it's a thing anyways. But Sonia, if you buy me coffee, I'm not having a problem with that. I'm going to drink the coffee too. And I have coffee beans in my storage barrel back here. That trash can is a storage barrel. Um, but I don't have a coffee grinder anymore. You know me. I'm forever. Somebody walks through and goes, "Oh man, I want one of those so bad," and I'm like, "I only paid $10 for it. Do you really want it that bad? I haven't used it in 3 weeks. Why don't you take it? It's okay." That's it. Yeah. Okay. So there's the brand. Okay. Next thing, Donna K. Have you ever used heavy clear plastic sheeting? Yes, but for what? I used to use it to wrap my tents in during the winter. It was another windbreak. I have. But Donna K, this area I'm in, Apache County, we can get, when I lived in the tent up here, oh good Lord, 75-mile-an-hour winds. I lost an $1,100 tent to the free range cattle, stepped on the rebar stakes because I didn't have a fence around I didn't have a yard fence. So the free range cattle stepped on the uh, rebar stakes, and a dirt devil came up while I was gone, and it lifted the whole thing up, spiked it on a tree, and parts of it blew down my ridge. That was an $1,100 tent. I was so upset. I just sat and cried. I didn't even know what to do. It took me a long time to figure out what to do behind that. Then, years later, I lived in the gazelle tent here. The gazelle tent held up really well. Plus, I had the yard fence, this white fence. I had around it, so it was protected. But 75-mile-an-hour winds are a thing. So the plastic sheeting, it okay, so it's so sunny and dry, the plastic sheeting can crack, and then it blows in the wind and it takes off for North Carolina. New Mexico. So I tried some plastic sheeting when I was first here because it's inexpensive. Then I tried Tyvek. Tyvek works pretty good, but you can't see through it. And I want to see through things, so I need windows. That $1,100 tent didn't have any windows. That was, I don't like not having windows. So I found the Queen of Tarps. No, the Queen of, I think it's called the Queen of Tarps on Amazon. I don't know if those are in my store. They're not super clear, but they're really good quality tarps they kind of have ribs in them, and they're made for putting over greenhouses and stuff. Those tarps hold up to the weather, to the heat, to the dry, to the monsoons. Those hold up. I just gave one away that I'd had for 5 years. So those Queen of Tarps, those are really good. But I think that I'm going to use the balcony privacy screens because they're basically a little thicker but they're shade cloth. So a little air goes through so the wind doesn't rip them apart. It doesn't tear the grommets out of them. And the black ones I use here are from Harbor Freight, and they're very loose weave, which is a whole other, that allows a lot of air to go through, but it does help with the shade. So I use them as much as I can because they're one, inexpensive. They come finished with grommets. They're easy to get a hold of and replace, but enough air, enough wind, enough snow goes through that they can survive out here. I've had Harbor Freight shade tarps, mesh tarps up in use 7 years with no problem. But I don't leave them flapping in the wind. Okay. Hey, Kate. Sonia asking about how does membership work. So when I set it up, I need to look at it again, Sonia. But when I set it up, I believe I set it up for 99 cent is the lowest channel membership, and I think the highest membership is $2.99 or $4. And so it's a recurring charge, an automatic charge that you agree to come into the membership on YouTube. So I think when you see my videos and stuff, I think it has the little join thing beside the channel name. And if you click on that, it should show you. And I think I called it Simply a Member, Simply More, and Simply You're the Highest or something. I don't remember. And I need to go back and mess with that because I'm starting to use it more. But basically, you come in, you agree to being a member, and you get to talk to me more often. And I will answer a member in a heartbeat. And in the future, on these lives and on videos, I can change the chat to only show me the members chat. And then so I could like focus on your stuff more. I don't choose to do that on Sundays at this time, but I might at some time switch one live stream per month to be members only so that we focus on you and we like help you individually. I think that's a pretty cool idea, but that's the basics of it. And you get different videos sometimes you get daily stuff. I'm aiming for daily stuff. I just sometimes I'm like, you know what it is. I was about to just say something. I just caught myself. I know what it is. Some mornings I get up. I need to get a certain kind of shirt that I used to have. Okay. I used to have this certain kind of shirt that I used to sleep in. Okay. Now I'm trying to be careful and not say too much about it because of the men out here, right? Because I don't want to start something. But I can say this. So I love cotton bra tops to sleep in. And some mornings I get up and I get so busy. I go to the bathroom and then I come out and I start doing stuff before I go back in and get dressed. I need to get some more of those bra tops. Let's not make that a big conversation. But if I had those, I'd probably grab the camera more often because I know I'm just coming out of my pajamas and I never got any further than whatever, And I ain't shamed, I ain't shy, but come on, I weighed, oh God, I weighed 340 pounds one time. And that's partly why I have angel wings. And that's partly why I have belly fat. Well, not belly fat. I have belly skin. It's partly. And But dang, I'm pretty healthy in the scheme of things. Sure, I got MS, but I mean, other people have worse things. And I'm not dead yet. So, whatever. Okay. You know what? I just realized I'm not seeing all your messages. I forgot to change the filter. They set it automatically to top messages, not all messages. So I've missed some messages. If I've missed your question, would you re-ask it, please? I'm going to see how. Okay, I remember answering that one. And that was about cats and eggs. Got that. Because I was like, who's saying hi to who? I don't see that name. And I went, oh, crap. Okay. The color changing cooler. I remember seeing that. Okay. The brand of the cooler, I told you, Mary. How does membership work? Okay, told you that. So I guess there's a Connie in here. Yeah, and if I don't have a scrap, okay, so there's also another thing that I would have if I could maneuver it, but I don't have the scraps for it either. So some of you guys know that there now is in the world this thing called a home biogas system. What it is a biodigester that takes your toilet and vegetable scraps, which I don't have, and it goes into the biodigester bag, balloon, whatever you want to call it, and converts it into methane gas, which then can be piped to your kitchen as cooking fuel for a stove. I used these in Costa Rica. They were DIY back then, but here in the States now, there's a company called Home Biogas that sells these to people off-grid situations. And they just have had a sale where the whole kit's like $900. And I would have one of those here, except I can't eat vegetables. There's no vegetable scraps to put in it. And if I'm only, as a carnivore, if I'm only having a BM once a week, it's not enough. So it's a similar situation to the chickens. If I don't have scraps, it's expensive to deal with the chickens. And especially when I know I'm allergic to corn. And usually the problem when you feed a chicken corn, the corn comes out in the egg yolk. And because of carnivore, I was trying to eat the yolks. So I never tested the whites. So I'll test the whites, but I'll let the neighbors have the chickens for now. So, okay. So that's that. Okay. And now I see all of your stuff. Albert's Adventures. Hey, love you too, hon. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you in a while, but I see your post on Facebook sometimes. You can't see the spots on my shirt? Well, that's nice, because I can. I look down and I go, oh, crap. Hey, it's a J. Jill shirt I found 4 years ago in a thrift store. I keep things for a long time when they work. It's not cotton. It's not natural fibers. Y'all know my button-up shirt is a Orvis linen shirt that I bought in Baja, and I love me some linen. I don't think I put it on my wish list yet, but I'm trying to save the money up so I can buy a linen blanket. It's thicker than a sheet. It's really healthy. Okay, so I've known about healthy fabrics, healthy foods my whole life. Okay, I've done old school hair. I do my hair care by historic methods. That's why it's so long. That's why it's, yes, The color where it's really dark down here, I let somebody dye my hair once and it's still growing out. And this isn't even, how old is this? I forgot when I cut my hair the last time. 2019, I cut it all off. It was short. I don't really look good with a short. So that's not happening anyway. But I've been doing old school stuff. I really love the living history museum stuff. I can get into that. So okay. Okay. Okay, hunting for cues again. I've got to also, I need to get a hold of the buddy that helped me do my website, because the website people are wanting me to pay again for the SimplyLesa.com. And so I got to do that, but I need to find out how to do a couple of things. Okay, let's see. Okay, hunting for cues. There's a property pep talk I need to hear daily. Oh, what I said? Cool, Mary. It's not cheaper. It's not easier. It so is not. That's why I don't mind sharing mine in the right way for me. God, yes, I use God, okay? The great creator gave this 10 acres to Lesa. First, it's to help me be a healthier person. Second, it's to help me with my purpose on earth. And so, in an appropriate way, I will share this with others. But I have had to learn how to be very choosy and careful, because I used to have people come up here and they abused me and abused the property, and that will not happen again. I will get a neighbor with a gun to come escort you away, and you will never come back if you screw with me here. Wow. You got that. Anyway, so yes, Mary, if you need property pep talks, come be a member and talk to me every day on the membership. Cheap. Okay, what am I seeing? Okay, cues. I guess I was lucky. Bob looked me in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't help you, honestly." And yes, Beth, I think that that's a blessing, because I know Bob well, and I don't think he knew his limits when he started wanting to be a guru and putting things out there. Now, I understand that that makes challenges for you, because it appears online like he can help everybody, and he's just a man. The rats wouldn't chew through the plastic hardware cloth. They could chew through the plastic hardware cloth, but it's pretty strong stuff. I think it's made really well. I'm surprised I'm even saying that. But as long as my cats, my little mini jaguars, are doing what they're doing, they're killing rodents. At least 3 times a week, I have something big where, they leave the little gut piles. And so I have an old trench and shovel that actually was Steve Ballet's. And I use that little trench and shovel to pick up those gut piles and throw it out for the ravens, or the other animals. But, how cool is this? I haven't caught it on a video yet, but we have this really fat toad, and I'm talking, okay, just guess my answer. Guess that my hands are similar to the size of yours. My hands aren't huge. But this fat toad that lives here, I have seen him so many times. Wendy tried to pick him up once. It only happened once. She was foaming at the mouth, and you know. But evidently, the toads up here are not poisonous like they are further south in Arizona. But boy, he's big, and it seems like he's just hanging out here, and that's cool to have a toad. Um, that's kind of cool. So that's I'll try to get a video of that and at least try to make it short and show you the extra the other um what's the word I want, the other pets I have, the um honeybees hanging on the faucet in the shower house, and the toad who's usually out in the evening. I had to kind of take the broom and get him away from the door last night. Okay, let me go back. TAL is a brand name from Wally World. Oh, okay. Thanks, Beth. Great idea with the zip ties and the T-post. Oh, it worked so good, Mary. It was better than getting a heavy umbrella weight like that they put under a table. It was way better. So if I ever want some kind of patio umbrella in this high wind situation, I'm doing the T-post. And I think a tall T-post would be even better, but all I had was a 5-footer, I think. I have a couple of really tall ones that are really bent, but because when I first came here, I used to be able to go to the scrap yard that's closer to St. John's. I used to be able to go pick up all the T-post I wanted for $1 a piece. And so I have a couple of really tall bent ones. Yeah, Mary, that's it. Glass so you can see whether a bug got in. Absolutely, because that ain't no fun. Speaking of bugs, when I went to the grocery store the other day, this past week, I went ahead and closed everything up really tight, and I set off a bug bomb. Yes, my son was concerned about me using a bug bomb because of the chemicals. And I was concerned too. But you know what? I've got bitten by so many spiders. I just was done. And I was like, after all the stuff I've been through recently, I didn't want to I just was like, you know what? I bought these a long time ago. They've been in storage. I have 2 more. It only takes 1. I'm just going to close this place up, and I'm just going to do it while I'm gone. I'll stay away 2 hours. And when I come home, I'll open it all up and stay outdoors for another couple hours and I'm so glad I did. So don't be afraid to do that if you need it. There you go. Beth got that up there. That oyster tempo cooler. Yay. Thank you for doing the link. I evidently didn't. I got to remember to check that they haven't set my that setting that's automatic on the messages screws me up. Okay. Yeah, $400. Not cheap at all. Exactly. That's why I am watching. Like I said, I really trust Playing with Sticks on YouTube. I don't know if you guys know that family. His wife, so he's from Alaska. They live in Alaska. They camp most of the summer. They have 2 little boys. The wife is from Asia. He used to, I can't remember if he worked for the government or just EMTs, but his specialty was going in the water in the winter to rescue people that had fallen into water situations. And so he knows how to stay warm, and his survival skills are incredible. But because of the family and because of his love of nature and outdoors, he has over time tested lots and lots of different rigs, and he loves teardrop trailers. And so they're always messing around with little trailers and doing reviews on things like that. And I really enjoy them as a couple. And I hope someday we actually get to meet. By the way, a long time ago, I had texted, is it the Golden Road on Instagram? I think that's the right name. They're the couple who walked across the United States together, and then now they've bought a shorty school bus. I think it's a 5-window bus, and they've converted it into their home, and now they're doing bus travel. And I had texted them a long, long time ago about, hey, if you're ever around, not trying to be something weird. I don't know what. Just offering, if you're around this area, you're welcome to come here. I could entertain you and your dogs a few days, no big deal. And they actually got hold of me the other day, and so maybe they'll come. That would be cool. Anyways, it would be cool to meet the uh, playing with sticks family as well. Mary, I have tried a USB coffee grinder. I also used to have manual ones, right? On my wish list. And I thought that my daughter in law had texted me around Mother's Day, and I thought they were buying me this one that's on my wish list. I'm saying that. I need to double check if it's actually on the wish list or not. It's on a list I have on Amazon. I found one that not only is it USB rechargeable, but if you're not near power, you could take the electric part off and grind it manually. And it's under $30. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the one I want. Because if I'm ever in a situation where I don't have power, it'll still work. So I'm like, I'd like to have that one. I need to go put it on make sure that it's out on my actual public wish list. So if somebody wants to buy me a gift, because right now, that's not a priority thing, that I can't handle that yet. So, hey, Jer. Queen of Tarps, yes. USB coffee grinders, yes. Who's that? Iris Levin, okay. Bye. Sorry I didn't see it earlier. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that chat filter. Oh, Kate is Connie. Of course you are. That is just what? Okay. Thank you, Chair. Compliments are nice. Yeah, it resets itself from all messages. I don't like that. Maybe if I got on a computer, I haven't had the mental stuff or whatever, or the time or the want to go spend a few hours at the library on a computer to see if there's anything I need to reset that I can't do on the phone. That kind of stuff just annoys me. But the fact that the default is to top messages, not to all messages. The default should be all messages, and then you choose whatever else. So, okay, so I think I'm at the end of that, and it's 2 hours in. Hey, I want to go check before we end because we've been a couple hours. Before we end the video, let me go see the progress on our little burger bites. Let's see what happened. Oh, I have my work pants on today. They have holes in them. Um, and you get to watch me walk. Wait, what you chasing? Oh, he's a rabbit. He's a rabbit. Oh! they're starting to set up. They'll be even, they're so much more solid. Look at this. Can you can you all see that? Let me sit so I can see what you see. Can you see? Look, see they're starting to get solid on the top. I'm going to touch one. It's my food. Oh yeah, it's solid enough I can touch it. Now if I was to push it, it feels a little soft. But now now I could pick it up and move it. So I should be able to. I checked, and this little silicone thing I bought, I got it at Dollar General. It was $6. I gotta be careful spending money this month. Oh, good Lord! But I needed to do this. $6 anyways. It fits inside the refrigerator, so I'll be able to put it in the fridge for a while, get them even more solid. Then they'll go in a Ziploc bag and they'll stay in the fridge. And then I actually have one more batch to make, and I'm keeping that meat in the shade, but I'll reheat it so it'll be hot when I before I make it. Because okay, so when I lived in the village, in the indigenous village in Costa Rica, mommy and the older women in the village taught me that they'd only had refrigerators for 3 years when I was there. And so they taught me how to keep meat. So as long as I don't open that pot and I don't lick a spoon and put in it, as long as I don't do that, I come back to it, and before I open it, I reboil it. So get it up to where it's really hot again. Then it's safe, and I can start over and do another one. So I just keep that in the shade. Right now it's in the shade. I'm going to take that pot inside, and then and all that other supplies, I'll take it inside. I'll go wash the blender and stuff like that, or I'll decide what I'm doing. And then I'll put this in the fridge, and the fridge should be running now. I had turned it on. It should be fine. But it had all the the little frozen coolie things, lunchbox coolie things. I bought the little, I don't like the bags. The bags are too floppy and they annoy me. So I bought the harder sided ones, like from Dollar General. They're $1 a piece. So I have a few of those in there. And I always, every time there's new food going in, I put them around the sides so they'll freeze first. And then at nighttime, I move them from the sides and I put them on top of all the food. And that way, if anything happens, cold air sinks. So they'd be the first thing to get warm, and the cold air would go down. So that helps that cooler, that little refrigerator work better in awkward situations. Which I'm learning how to do better at everything. It takes time. There's flies. I don't want to keep this out here too long. So any more questions before we get ready to go? Are you guys tired of listening to me? I'm getting a little tired. I'm thirsty. I want to go get a drink. And you know what I'm going to have for a drink? I'm going to put ice in the plastic cup I have, and I'm going to put sparkling water, plain sparkling water in my cup. And that's what I'm going to have. And then I'm probably going to walk around the driveway once or twice, because that's a goal I have right now because of having trouble walking after the hospital. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Y'all pray for each other because it helps. And the fact that when we think about somebody, having a moment to say something about it, even if we just text, I keep thinking about you. If that's all we can do, sometimes it works. Like I said, I know prayer works. So pray for each other. I can't think right now of any real big things happening with other people at the moment. Nobody's called me this week with a big, scary thing. So please continue to pray about me being able to maneuver this expensive off-grid stuff that I'm doing. I'm hoping that this can turn into a comfortable place to maybe we could meet up. maybe I could teach some things to somebody, but on my terms, because I don't like the world's terms. And I don't care what you do. You do you. But I'm doing me, and right now the flavor of me is this kind of flavor, and I don't know what else to say today, guys. I'm I'm trying to find a way to say it's time to go. And y'all have a great week. Hang in there. Ciao. I guess that's all I got. Ciao. Well, okay. How does this phone? There we go. Ciao.